it all. It's a royal game and cheating is just not done. It's a disgrace.
What's going on, Nigel? Sounds like somebody's got you all riled up.
Someone spoiled my school's chess tourney. He or she rearranged the pieces on a chessboard during the lunch break. Say, Jennifer, maybe you can suss out the situation.
Suss out? What does that mean, Nigel?
You know, look over, figure out. Anyway, the chess tourney is being held at the Phaeton Club. Hop on down and have a look. You can catch up with me later at the London Zoo.
Hey, that parrot is squawking at us.
Sorry for the racket. I'm afraid Giggles here feels she must greet every stranger she sees. Something of a watchdog, eh? I volunteered to help Mrs. Cowslip monitor the chess tourney. I quite like chess. All the children are so quiet and orderly while they play, you know. I'm afraid this disgraceful incident is my fault. I was watching the chessboards during lunch, but I fell asleep with Giggles here on my shoulder. While I was napping, someone slipped in and removed the chess piece. I'm actually a very light sleeper, so the rascal must have crept in very quietly.
Not a very clever crime, I'm afraid. It was dead obvious. If someone had just moved a piece to a worse position, I might never have noticed. But with the pawn gone, Gemma will lose the game very soon.
Now what will happen?
Well, because it was tampered with, this game will have to be played over again. If we can prove who did this, then of course he or she will be banned from the tournament. Hello, children. My, that is a noisy bird you have, Mr. Sneed. Perhaps you can help us with our problem. We're having the quarter-finals of our school chess tourney. While we were at lunch, someone tried to cheat by removing a chess piece from the board. Fortunately, I noticed the difference, so I've excused the children until we can figure out what to do. What a disgraceful thing to happen.
Do you have any idea who removed the chess piece?
Well, it could have been any one of our quarter-finalists, Philip Mind, Gemma Kent, Natalie Ott or James Newman. But of course it would seem to be James. Removing the piece gave him a much better position in his game against Gemma. James isn't normally one of our stronger players, but in this tourney he has been doing very, very well. I hope this doesn't mean that he has been cheating all along.
The British Library, no sweat, that's over in the British Museum. But what on earth could James mean by play chess with the dead? The Tower Green, where there are ravens. I'm sure Gemma Kent and Natalie Ott are at the Tower of London. But how do we get there from here? Let's look at our map of London. First, find the Phaeton Club in Knightsbridge. That's where we are. To get to the Tower of London, do we want to go west, towards Kensington, or east to the Thames River? Right! The Tower of London is east of the Phaeton Club. Come on, let's go. You lead the way. This seems like kind of a cool place to play a game of chess.
Poor Gemma. Normally she beats me quite easily. She's the second best player on the team. Only Phil Mind can beat her usually, but today James was winning. I could see she was in trouble with just a glance at the board. Kind of embarrassing, really. The second best player at school trounced by a nobody.
Don't be silly, Natalie. I would have beaten James in the end if this unpleasantness hadn't come along. I just got off to a bad start, that's all.
Well, Gemma and I are good friends, but I must say I was happy to see James doing so well. He's been trying so hard. I'd give anything to see him win.
Oh, really, Natalie? Sometimes I think it was you who removed the chess piece so that James would have a better chance of winning.
We're investigating cheating at the chess tournament, Gemma. Where were you during the lunch break?
I took a long walk. I get uncomfortable sitting for so long in one place.
I took a long walk too, out around the square.
That's funny. I didn't see you there. Well, just a few more moves, Natty dear, and then I'm going back to the club. Your move.
The tower ravens seem to have taken a liking to you, Gemma.
Yes, I have a way with birds.
That's putting it mildly, Jem. You even had that grumpy old parrot of Sneed's eating out of your hand. Mr. Sneed said Gemma looked so much like his niece that Giggles took an instant liking to her. He doesn't even squawk when she comes near, as if she were family.
Well, I can't think who I remind the ravens of, Natalie. They seem to take a fancy to me as well.
See that kid over there with the chessboard? That must be Philip Mind.
Do you mind? I'm studying this classic old game between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. Leave me be.
Sorry to bother you, but we're investigating cheating at the chess tourney. Where were you during the lunch break?
Eating. I forget what Dorothea Torrey and I had lunch. Wherever it was gruesome. Now buzz off.
Well, he's not very friendly, is he? I guess he takes his chess very seriously. Here's Nigel and his friends. I hope they can help us figure out where James Newman has gone. We really need to ask him some questions.
Dorothea and Gay were watching the quarterfinals. Maybe they can give you some good clues.
The top player, Philip, was playing Natalie, who's ranked about 5th in the school. Their game was too close to call when they stopped for lunch.
Gemma, who's the school's second best player, was playing James, who's never been in a tournament before, and I think James was winning.
The winners of each of these quarter-final games would play each other in the final. The winner of that game gets a really big thrill, a chance to play chess with Judith Polgar. She's playing some exhibition games in London next week.
Judith Polgar is a Hungarian chess grandmaster, and she's only in her teens. Dead cool.
So who do you think removed that chess piece, and why? And where is James Newman hiding?
We figure maybe Phil or Natalie removed that chess piece. They would want James to win, so they wouldn't have to play Gemma in the final. She can be really tough.
I don't think Phil did it. I was with him all of lunchtime. He just sat and stared at his food.
Well, I don't think Natalie did it. I saw her out walking around the square at lunchtime.
Maybe you'd better go talk to James Newman. He likes to play chess in Highgate Cemetery. He says nobody ever disturbs him there.
Oh, I get it. James Newman said he was going to play chess with the dead. He meant that he was going to play chess here at Highgate Cemetery.
Somebody fiddled the tourney, eh? Shocking.
Beastly. Don't suppose it was Natalie? She quite fancies old lad James here. Tried to give him a push, what?
Or maybe that Philip Mind. A mental piranha, that one.
Or Gemma. Great kid. But man, does she hate to lose.
But it wasn't our lad James. He always plays it on the level. Besides, during lunchtime he was here in the boneyard with us. Honest.
Don't tell me. Mrs. Cowslip has decided that I must have removed that chess piece, and has banned me from the tourney, right?
Actually, we're helping her investigate things, James. Can you give us any information?
I simply must win this tourney, Jennifer. I want to meet Judith Polgar, to play chess with her. Now that would be heaven on earth. I've read a zillion articles about her, and one day I just made my mind up to win this tournament. I was doing it too, and now this happens. Now I'm all thrown off. If I have to play Gemma again, I'll probably lose.
We're ready to checkmate this culprit. Pick out the clues that show who tampered with the chess pieces. That's it. Now point out the person you suspect is the chessboard cheater. You got it! Gemma Kent removed the chess piece while Mr. Sneed was sleeping. To solve this mystery, we had to picture in our minds how the crime was committed. To move the chess piece, someone had to creep into the room where Mr. Sneed was sleeping. But Mr. Sneed was not alone in that room. Giggles the parrot was not sleeping. And we saw that Giggles gave off a loud squawk every time a stranger entered the room. That squawk would have alerted Mr. Sneed. But Gemma Kent has a way with birds, and she resembles Mr. Sneed's niece. Giggles never squawks at her. She was the only one who could have tampered with the chess game. Gemma was upset because she got off to a bad start in her game against James Newman. She thought if she could start over, she would win. So she removed a piece to mess up the game, making sure the change was so obvious it would be noticed.